Hello everyone, this is Dr. Zaidi. Welcome to my YouTube channel, ZTube. In this video, I'll be discussing internal rate of return or IRR. The internal rate of return is a rate of return of an investment project over its useful life. Now, what is it? It's the rate that results in the net present value of equal to zero. So when you calculate IRR, is basically it's a discount rate that results the NPV of zero. Now, there's two ways to calculate IRR. If you have the equal amount of cash inflows, then you can use a formula method. If you have unequal amount of cash inflows, then you can use trial and error process, which means you have to go back and forth to find out the internal rate of return. Now, in this video, we are not going to be discussing about the unequal amount of cash flows or trial and error process. What we'll be discussing is the simple way to calculate IRR, assuming that we have the equal amount of net cash inflows every year. So that means that you'll be receiving, for example, $10,000 for next 10 years or $5,000 for next 5 years. So that's the equal amount of net cash inflows. So we'll be discussing that. If unequal amount, which is like 10,000 first year, 20,000 second year, 15,000 third year, these are unequal amount of cash inflows. We will not be discussing those because the unequal amount requires trial and error process. So for simple and direct approach, when we have the equal amount of net cash inflows, we calculate it using the formula. We calculate first the present value factor of annuity. We calculate that the annuity factor because we are assuming that these are the equal amount of cash flow. That means these are annuities. So what we do is we divide the investment by the annual net cash inflows. Investment is your initial investment divide by how much you will be receiving every year, the net cash inflows per year, right? So 10,000 per year. So you can see why we cannot use the trial and error process here using the formula, because if you have unequal payments or unequal receipts, then you cannot have the same annual net cash inflows. Okay, so we calculate present value factor for annuity uh, when we divide investment by the annual net cash inflows. Now, IRR is used for both screening decisions and preference decisions. In this section, we'll be discussing screening decision. Later part of the video, we'll be devoting to the preference decision. So how do we make a screening decision using IRR? So first we find out that what is our hurdle rate. Usually hurdle rate is set as a cost of capital, right? Cost of capital is cost of acquiring funds from lenders, from shareholders, or from other from banks or other resources, however you are acquiring the fund. So that's the cost of capital. So usually companies set cost of capital as the minimum rate of return or the desired rate of return. And if your IRR is greater than and equal to the required rate of return, you accept the project. So if you have 10 projects and 7 of them meets the criteria that their IRR, when you calculate it, is bigger than the required rate of return, then you accept all those projects. And if IRR is less than the required rate of return, so out of 10 projects, if 3 projects don't meet the criteria, you need to screen out, right? So IRR is used for screening decision as well. Now, if you accept the other 7 projects, then which project you're going to invest in first and then second and the third depends on your ranking decision, and IRR also does ranking decision, which we'll be discussing in the later part of the video. So let's start with the example now. Z Corporation is evaluating an investment proposal. Proposal requires an investment of $395,514 that will generate annual net cash flows of $70,000 for the next 10 years. Z's minimum required rate of return is 11%. Using IRR, determine whether Z should invest in this project. So minimum required rate of return is 11%. If the project provides you higher than 11%, then we should invest in. Okay. So here it says that the initial investment is $395,514, and then the annual net cash inflows are $70,000. So the formula says you divide the investment by the net annual cash inflows. So amount to be invested, $395,514 divided by 70,000. This gives you 5.6502. Now this is the present value of an annuity factor, right? And now you're going to go backwards using the table to calculate the interest rate or the IRR. Now, if you look at the question, the investment is for 10 years, right? So in the table, when you come, you're going to look at 5.6502 factor in year 10. So this is year 10. You're going to move towards right and see where you're going to see 5.6502. So in this table, looks like you're moving, when you reach right here, it's 5.6502. So you're going to look at the header, and the header says 12%. So 12% is the internal rate of return. Now, if you don't find this number, if you didn't find 5.6502, then you move to whichever is the closer number to it. All right. So if instead of 5.6502, this was 5.6500, then this is a closer number. Then you should have chosen 12%. If the next number 5.4262 was a closer number, then you should have chosen 13%, right? So if you don't find the exact number right here in the factor, then you choose whichever you have the closest relation with, whichever number is closest to the factor that you have found, and then you choose that as an IRR. So in this case is 12%. So your IRR is 12%. The minimum required rate of return was 11%. Obviously your IRR is greater than the minimum desired rate of return, so you accept the project. So that is your screening decision. Now you screened out other projects that are not desirable, and you move to preference decisions. And in a preference decision, you rank the project and you decide that which project you're going to choose. Again, the higher the IRR, the more desirable the project is going to be. So if a project gives you 20% IRR, is going to be more desirable than the project that's going to give you 19% IRR, right? So here is the example of screening decision. So assuming minimum rate of return is 11%, same thing, right? We had in the previous problem. Now project A, B, C, and D. Project A gives you 13% IRR, project B gives you 10%, project C gives you 11%, project D 12%. Now because B is below 11%, you're going to reject this project. C is same as 11%, you can accept that project because it is right there, right? If IRR is greater than and equal to 0, you should accept that project. So based on that criteria, you can accept those. So now you have project A, C, and D, and you have to rank those projects. So when you start ranking those projects, project A has the highest amount of IRR, 13%, then followed by project D, which is 12%, and project C has 11%. So ranking wise, project A was the first project you should invest in, followed by project 2, and then project D, and then project C, right? So if you have only limited funds and you can invest on only one project, then you invest in project A. If you still have more funds, then you can move to the next project, which is project D. That completes this video. Thank you for watching my video. Please subscribe my channel for live updates.